Welcome, everyone. This is our presentation on essential oils and the 7 Hermetic principles. So my name is Leanne Anderson, and I have Kate with me. And we are here in Barcelona, and we host a monthly Empowered Women Barcelona gathering. And as part of this gathering, we usually have a guest speaker that will speak on the theme that they would like to share. So this month we had the 7 Hermetic principles that were shared by our friend Anna. And so with every theme of the month, we tie it to Young Living essential oils, because as you know, our oils can pretty much fit into any lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. And so we're excited today to share with you how we connect using the essential oils with the 7 Hermetic principles. So first, let's introduce ourselves. Okay, so who am I? My name is Leanne. I'm a soul coherence guide. I have been with Young Living now for over 10 years, and I am a holistic depth psychology practitioner. So I integrate various modalities to walk with my clients towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. I use the lens of the gene keys, the 25 body type system as created by Dr. Carolyn Mine, and I guide individuals in understanding their unique energetic blueprint, revealing their strengths, challenges, and evolutionary path. So I incorporate Young Living essential oils into all that I do, facilitating emotional wisdom and energetic balancing, supporting clients in learning from their core emotional wounds. Through my practice of Shengong, which is a kind of Qigong in the Bagua lineage, I practice practices that can be seen as shamanic in connecting with our dreams, our visions, and it deepens the journey, connecting my clients with their higher selves and their ancestral wisdom through internal alchemy. So with all of these practices, it's really to empower individuals to embody their divine spark, cultivate intuition, and live a more joyful, authentic, and purpose-driven life. And so I was born and raised in Malaysia. I have lived in Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, and the US. And currently I live in Barcelona in Spain. So I'll let Katie, whom I met in Tokyo when we lived there more than 8 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe. But I'll let Katie introduce herself.
Hi, so thank you, Leanne. It's really nice to have this session today. I met Leanne, as she said, 8 years ago, and I'm an art and craft teacher. Is my main job, and I'm really passionate about creativity in all aspects of everyone's life. I really feel like I'm a connecting person. I love to meet, people from around the world, and I'm really pleased with this group that we're cultivating together in Barcelona now. I really am passionate about supporting people with their well-being, and for me, I use essential oils in every part of my life now since I was introduced 8 years ago, not by Leanne, but we're in the kind of circle that we were in Tokyo. Yeah, I really want to help other people explore and use essential oils. It's super interesting, this group that we've developed, and having different speakers every week. I find it like a really kind of creative, fun challenge now for us to find ways that we can pair essential oils to whatever the topic can be. It's given us like a new interesting challenge, which I'm really enjoying. So I'm originally from the UK. I lived in Tokyo briefly, and now I live in Barcelona, Spain, with my family. Oh, Leanne, you're me. Okay.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and introduce the 7 Hermetic principles. These are a set of philosophical and spiritual principles attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. So Hermes Trismegistus was a legendary figure, often associated with ancient Egyptians' Thoth, who was revered as the god of wisdom, magic, and the written word. So these principles are believed to govern the universe and all of existence. So as we go through these 7 principles, you will most likely find that you are already familiar with them because it feels like it is very universal and a lot of us understand it almost intuitively. Okay. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about Young Living Essential Oils' connection with Egypt. The founder of Young Living Essential Oils, D. Gary Young, traveled to Egypt in 1991, and he started studying with Dr. Radwan Farag. He was at that time the dean of the biochemistry department at the University of Cairo. And Dr. Radwan Farag taught Gary Young for a number of years. And then Gary also traveled around Egypt to study with different aromatherapists. And he had already been studying aromatherapy since 1984 at the University of Geneva in Switzerland. Well, when he was in Egypt in 1991, he was at the Temple of Isis, and it was a very strange event, but there was a guard there that was very insistent that Gary followed him, and he showed him a room that was hidden and that he had to secretly take Gary into. And mind you, Gary was actually trying to ignore him because he didn't want to, get into any trouble. But the guard actually approached him more than 3 times. And so in this room in the Temple of Isis, there were hieroglyphics on the wall that, in essence, Gary already had a vision of it at the pyramids of Giza about a week or so before that. So to Gary, it was very much a numinous moment of connecting with the vision he already had. And he found himself able to read the hieroglyphics. In fact, he took many pictures and went back to the University of Cairo to show them, and they hadn't seen it, but they were really surprised that Gary actually understood it and understood it correctly. So it was depicting the cleansing of the flesh and blood ritual using essential oils. And in his book, I think it was The History of Aromatherapy that he wrote, he really goes into detail of this event. In the bottom line is that the Egyptians believed that the more fragrance you wear, the closer you get to the divine. So to them, it was a very spiritual and necessary ingredient to their rituals. So let's start with a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." So you'll see that the 7 Hermetic principles are very much about choices, because who you decide to be, who you decide to kind of behave like, is very much influenced by your thoughts and by the choices you make about your thoughts. Okay, so I will start us off. There are 7 of them. The first one is the principle of mentalism. So the all is mind, the universe is mental. This principle states that the universe is akin to a mental projection. So just like what I said before, what we believe most of the time is what shapes our reality. And for anything to come into material manifestation, a thought must first precede it. So using this law, we can harness the power of our minds to create the life we want. And you can see it all around you now. The desk that is in front of you was thought up by somebody. The chair you're sitting on, the bookcase in your office, the couch, somebody designed it because it came through their mind. So in order to make the most of this idea, let's recognize how much our thoughts manifest every day, and whether it's an internal state or as in our emotional state, physiological, or even externally. And when we can, I don't like to use the word control, these are some of these use very old language, and I feel like we have ascended to a frequency that's kind of different now. When we can become aware of what we're thinking, and we make choices to think differently, this has nothing to do with spiritual bypassing or even rejecting parts of ourselves. It is in fact being honest with ourselves. So as we become aware, we are actually saying, I'm aware that I'm thinking this. And then there's a choice, because whatever external event is happening, we ultimately have a choice about what we think about it. And we can get better at this by strengthening our awareness, our ability to really maybe catch ourselves or see things so quickly, because we're always paying attention. And that is through meditation, contemplation. In other words, creating pauses in our days so that we can start to come to this place of true attention to what we're thinking. There's stats out there that we think tens of thousands of thoughts a day, and we're only really aware of, a very small amount. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to do this little squiggle thing with my mouse, and it keeps going past. So the first oil we want to talk about is gathering. Gathering was created as a blend of 9 essential oils, and it gathers the mental thoughts of a group, or it taps us into thoughts of a different frequency. And so many of us realize that there are certain frequencies out there in the world today. Some people are in a place of fear, some people are in a place of peace, but you start to wonder, how can it be that we're all experiencing life, and yet some can be so joyful and some can be so fearful? Well, again, it's our choice of how we come into this frequency. So using the blend of lavender, Northern Lights black spruce, geranium, frankincense, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, ylang ylang, vetiver, cinnamon bark, and rose, it is an exquisite aroma that has somewhat of a smoky flavor, which I love. In fact, Gary Young used to say that he would use this as an aftershave. It smells really grounding and smoky. So it's amazing for ritual and prayer, and it helps us to truly overcome the chaotic energy of everyday life. And you can use it multiple ways. The best is just to put a drop on your hand and inhale it in the moment. You can diffuse it in your diffuser for your meditation time. You can even put it in your bath with Epsom salts. Take it with you to a yoga class and allow others to also enjoy it. And of course, just putting it on your heart, even on your crown, however you like, and have the intention to tap into thoughts that are life enhancing versus energy sucking. So how does gathering connect with this idea that all is mind? Well, so intention and focus. So gathering people together, gathering our mental processes together can be, we can use gathering essential oils for those intentions and those focus. And in this time of change, it is really, really important that we are gathering with like-minded communities. And you may have heard of phrases like the power of 8, which was a book written a while ago, talking about how when people gather together, especially when there are 8 of them, they can send their thoughts and prayers to a certain person, to plants, the experiments that show that it makes a real difference. So gathering can also help foster the emotional and spiritual connections and this shared consciousness that I was talking about. And manifestation. So if we truly believe that our thoughts create reality, then we can use gathering essential oil to truly bring forth what we desire. And this is not talking about material things like I desire a car, which, ultimately may or may not be something that you would like to do, but we're really talking about mind states. So everything ultimately is a mind state. Even the sense of abundance is a mind state. And so manifestation of those kinds of states of mind. And the next principle is the principle of correspondence. So I just want to pause and say, if there are any questions at all, just feel free to come through with them and I would love to answer it. So as above, so below, as below, so above. Most of us know this already. And what it's really talking about is that there is everything that is, there's a microcosm and a macrocosm. And so it's like we're living in a holographic world. As we go deeper and deeper into the interior of our body, for instance, it gets to be more vast in space as we get tinier and tinier. And as we go out into space, it gets, vast and vaster. And what we see in the close up of our atoms and cells looks like what it is in space. So we are applying this law to understand that we are a part of this universe, but that we also hold the universe inside us. So how do we show up for ourselves and the universe through our thoughts and our actions? How do we behave as if everything we do and who we are actually impacts the reality, everybody else, right? So let's see what oil we chose for this. Okay, so Envision. And again, this is tied to the fact that everything is mind, but also now understanding that we are a part of the universe and the universe is a part of us. So this is a blend of 6 essential oils. It inspires you to release the fear of moving forward. And when you smell this aroma, you may feel a shift, allowing you to embrace a new future vision. You have dreams. You were born with this desire within you that's very different from everyone else. And when you can tap into that, your little corner of the world is yours to stand in, to be empowered by, and to make a difference in. And so this helps to awaken your dreams, allowing your mind actually in this place to rest so that you can start to create from this place of centeredness. And it's your intuition. So essential oils really support our intuitive abilities. As we start to use it, it clears out the gunk, whether it's in physical toxins or mental toxins. So once we're able to truly see, because there's no more blurriness from the gunk, then we can start to live in this space of as above, so below, as below, so above. So a lot of the oils are simple to use. Just put a drop on your hand and inhale it. And having the intention is the most important. The oils work on our intention. And as it enters our limbic system through our olfactory system, it first of all releases any memories, traumas, emotions that are ready to be released. And then it also facilitates the feelings and emotions surrounding what we truly desire, so that we can move through the fear and start to work towards this future that we envision, which is really a remembering of our soul's mission. And so it says here, apply 1 or 2 drops to your forehead, edge of ears, wrist, neck, temples, feet. And the truth is, having it all around our head really helps to keep it as part of our perfume throughout the day. I like to put it on my hair, and putting it on our feet helps it to go into our body within 20 minutes. So this principle of correspondence, the macrocosm and the microcosm, can help you to understand this connection, right? As we envision our future, it's a reflection of our inner world and our connection to the universe. When we are stimulating feelings of intuitive creativity and resourcefulness, it helps us navigate both these inner and outer worlds. And when we achieve harmony within ourselves, we start to actually experience more harmony in the external world. And this is a very, it's hard to explain, hard to teach, and yet it would be such an amazing experience and experiment for you to try, because there have been thousands of people that will tell you, when I started to work on myself, then my relationships with people that I didn't even try to change, changed. Not because they changed, but because we started coming from a different place. And so, again, your microcosm, thoughts and intentions manifest the reality and external, the macrocosm. So as within, so without. Okay, handing off to you, Katie.
Okay, so this is a principle that I find very interesting, and actually we chose 2 essential oils for this principle. So this is the principle of vibration, and it says, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. And when we talked about this, and when I've started to learn about this principle, it's really about recognizing that we are in a constant state of change. There is always change coming in and out of our lives, everything moving, the world always turning and always shifting, things that are happening around us, but also recognizing that we have our own vibration. We are, connected to the earth that has a frequency. Everything in the world and in our universe has a frequency that vibrates at different levels. Is something that's really interesting when you begin to recognize that and to notice that. At the end of the slideshow, I put very quickly some photos of the essential oils, a desk reference that has a whole section about the frequencies and the vibrations that essential oils have. So maybe we'll look at that at the end. But it's, very interesting to when we start to recognize how we vibrate and how we have this shifting, changing quality. Also, we can pair essential oils with that. And the reason why we pair two essential oils is because there are different types of shifts and vibrations that we may want to join to. So we've got, one area which may be that we want to harmonize and clear. And there might be another area where we want to balance and elevate. So we can harness depending on what we need using different vibrations. So this principle really is about spiritual energy. Sorry, Leanne, I always go off what's on the slide. But the science tells us that, atoms are in constant motion and the universe itself is in constant motion. We know that our earth is moving, everything's moving. And even in our hearts as they beat, they give off different vibrations depending on our emotional state. And in our last session we did online, we talked about how emotions can affect us. And actually, we are vibrating depending on our feelings. So recognizing our emotions is also tied to this. When we're vibrating high, we're able to avoid low-level frequencies that don't serve us. And so really knowing where we are and recognizing our vibrations is quite important. So this will look different for everybody, but how we apply this third principle is that we not only want to do things, but think thoughts that allow us to be in a state of ease, where our body is vibrating at its natural rhythm and a more positive level. And with this principle, we acknowledge that we have the power to control our vibration rather than our vibration controlling us. And I think really the first step for me and for many people is recognizing, our vibration and how we are feeling each day, so that we can apply this principle. Okay. So the first oil that we paired with this, so Leanne and I were both researching, talking about oils. We'd got our desk references open. We were talking about everything, and we just couldn't help but choose two different ones for different aspects for this. But the first one we want to talk about is white Angelica, which is a essential oil blend, and this oil is recognized for being able to promote positive and peaceful atmospheres. It's a blend that has ylang ylang and bergamot and melissa, geranium, or many, hyssop, black spruce, sacred sandalwood, and myrrh. And it's got a really deep, rich, earthy scent. Many people use white Angelica as almost like a white angel. And we talked about this oil as well in terms of emotional protection. It's one that is part of the Good Day protocol from Young Living. And it's recommended to apply 2 drops every day to your shoulders to help you have this peaceful, nurturing protection and this aroma that surrounds you during the day. And it's often recommended to apply if you were using Young Living's raindrop technique, to apply before the raindrop technique or before anything like massage or bodywork treatment. So we paired this with the principle of vibration because it really has this power of harmonizing and clearing, and also this protective quality that we talked about. So it can be connected by either elevating your vibration as white Angelica is often used to promote feelings of peace, protection, and spiritual connection. And these emotions are associated with higher vibrational states. When we vibrate higher, we know we feel better. We can sense it. You know, other people can sense it, that we're vibrating at a higher level. White Angelica is one of the oils that can bring our vibrations up much higher. It's also amazing for clearing negative energy. So it can lower those negative energies, can lower our vibrations and our frequencies. So by removing those negative energies that surround us, we can raise our vibration and experience greater well-being and positive feelings. And also it can harmonize our energy centers. So sometimes people talk about chakras as well. Each chakra, if you don't know, we kind of have colored chakras that go through our body, and they vibrate at a specific frequency. And when these frequencies are balanced, we experience the most kind of optimal health, vitality, positive feelings. And sometimes we can recognize in our body that one of those might be out of balance. And so white Angelica can be used to kind of bring our vibration kind of center again. And also for spiritual awakening. This blend is associated with spiritual awakening and enlightenment, which is really a shift in consciousness and higher vibrational states. When we move to spiritual frequencies and vibrations, again, they are at a much higher level of consciousness and a much higher level of frequency. And in the Dex reference book, again, if you have that, there is a section about spiritual vibrations and those being at much higher frequencies, which is really interesting. So in essence, white Angelica can be seen as a tool to elevate our vibrations, clear negative energies, and harmonize our energy centers, which can promote our spiritual awakening. By aligning ourselves with these high vibrational energies, we can experience greater peace, joy, and fulfillment in our lives. The second oil that we paired with this vibrational principle is Valor, which some of you may be familiar with. Valor essential oil is a blend of frankincense, black spruce, blue tansy, camphor wood, and geranium. And it was formulated based on historical writings about Roman soldiers who were said to apply these plants to instill feelings of courage and confidence before they went into battle. You can see on the picture here, there's an example of a roll-on oil. This is really quite commonly used as an everyday protocol to roll and apply topically to your body. It's one of the ones I use actually probably most frequently of the whole oil collection. This is one I'll reach for time and time again because of its power to kind of, again, lift your energies and raise your vibrations. It can be used to diffuse and create a grounded environment for things like yoga and meditation. It's one of the foundational daily blends that gives this courage and confidence and gives a positive aroma. You can apply it to the back of your neck for an aroma that inspires feelings of confidence, and you can refresh throughout the day by directly inhaling it as you go. And how we feel that Valor really speaks to this idea of vibrations is its power to balance and elevate your personal vibration. This principle states that everything vibrates, as we said before, and the rate of vibration is determined by the state of the matter, or often our feelings, or how we're connected to things around us. Our thoughts, our emotions, and our physical bodies are all vibrating at specific frequencies. So this essential oil can be used to balance frequencies. It's known for being grounding, it's known for being centering, and it can help balance these frequencies and bring us into more of a state of harmony and equilibrium. It's also really, really great for elevating mood. So it's one of the ones I use, on days when it's dark and cold and you're feeling a bit pulled downwards by negative energies. This blend is uplifting, empowering, and can help promote feelings of confidence and courage, as I said before. It's also really great for physical and emotional well-being. It can promote relaxation and reduce stress, and it can positively impact our physical and emotional well-being that are impacted by vibrational frequencies. And then finally, a bit like White Angelica, but in a different way, Valor is really great for helping us to connect spiritually. It's often used to facilitate connection and awareness, and it can involve aligning with higher vibrational frequencies and expanding our consciousness. I know many people that use Valor in meditation practices to help bring them and open their minds and kind of elevate as they're like raising their frequency and their consciousness. So in essence, it's a blend that can be seen to use to harmonize our energy frequencies, elevate vibrations, and align ourselves with the balancing and uplifting energies.
So just a quick note here, how interesting it is that both White Angelica and Valor are recommended before we do body work or even before we enter into an energy healing session because of this principle of vibration. So I love that we chose the one that, you know, just happens to
be. I think White Angelica, for me, I imagine it like a protective force field and this kind of energy. And Valor, I would definitely use to like raise myself and center myself in an energy way. So they both, you know, have like slightly different functions, but as you said, like can be used for this like body work or preparing yourself for certain things that you might be practicing.
Yes, White Angelica, like you said, you know, just kind of cocooning ourselves in positive frequencies, and then Valor helping to connect the practitioner with the client and putting it first on their shoulders and their feet helps to, I love this idea of harmonizing our energy frequencies. So both of us come into this place of vibration that is starting to really connect. Okay.
Oh.
Wait, is this you?
I don't know. Polarity.
Hold
the
on,
oil for polarity is transformation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. So here is where we can understand polarity without getting stuck in duality. So that's a really important point. So there's hot and there's cold. And like it says here, cold is just the absence of heat, and they're both one thing, temperature. Physical matter and spiritual energy are the same thing, with spiritual energy vibrating at a much higher level. Love and hate are two ways of experiencing the same thing, a relationship towards something. So applying the principle of polarity takes a degree of mental stamina, involves shifting the way you look at something, potentially completely on its head. Take the hate you may feel for someone. Is there any way you can shift it to feelings of love? And when you have a lower vibrational emotion, can you recognize it, feel it, and transmute it to a more positive one? So here is where we understand that there are two sides, if you like, of the same coin, and that there is a certain ability within us to alchemize. This idea of inner alchemy is a practice. And the oil we chose is transformation, because here we're given a tool that helps us to transform areas of our lives that may be in a certain frequency of the polarity that we would like to shift it to a different frequency. If I am hot, maybe I want to be cold. Maybe if I'm cold, maybe I want to be hot. But again, coming back to this idea that we have the ability and the choice to come into an equilibrium. So transformation, again, has 9 essential oils: lemon, peppermint, sandalwood, clary sage, sacred frankincense, Idaho blue spruce, cardamom, ocotillo, and palo santo. Helps you, if you're in feelings of darkness, to transform it into an environment of light, hope, and joy. So I love the word empower, because we're never a victim of what it is we're feeling. In fact, ultimately, when we live this lifestyle, partnering with essential oils to really raise our vibration and frequency, we start to realize that, in fact, these emotions are there to alert us to something, to a change that we have the power to enact in our lives. So it empowers positivity and a sense of self-awareness. So we can move forward with transforming our behavior with courage and an inner knowing of achieving our desires. So Gary Young loved to say about transformation as a wonderful oil blend for your home diffuser to set up the frequency of transformation while you write down your goals that you want to achieve for the new year, which in this time is quite relevant as we're coming into the new year in the next 2 weeks. Where you want to be with your health, with your belief system, your attitude, your financial condition. And maybe you're writing about your marital status or your personal feelings. Just write down where you are now, where you want to be, and what you would like to become through this transformational year. So, as I said before, we may have all these goals and these visions, and we seem to always tie it to material things, but understand that those material things are just there for you to feel into the emotion and the vibration around what it feels like to have those things. And so your true goal is to get yourself into that feeling, and to know that your brain does not know the difference between what is reality and what is part of your dream and visions. In other words, if you are dreaming and visioning that you have what you desire and you have it now, and you start to tap into how it feels to have it now, then you're already bringing that thing from the future into today. So transformation helps you in activating your limbic system and your pineal gland and pituitary gland so that you start to feel as if you've already achieved your goals. You can inhale it, you can apply it, you can diffuse it, all of the different ways. So this principle of polarity, as we talked about, states that everything has its opposite and that the opposites are complementary. So it highlights the polarity and the duality. And yet it is not meant to enhance separation in this world. So I want to really bring that point across really clearly, because we are stuck in a world where we want to label things as good or bad, right or wrong. And it leads to a lot of judgment and blame and victim. And so understanding the polarity doesn't mean that we say, too bad, so sad. It's really saying, actually, because of that, then let's tap into the ability to transform it. And this transformation oil then, like we talked about, involves the shift from one state to another. And the in-between is always that imbalance, the discomfort. And so it's about moving through the darkness where there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and or really facing your shadows, for instance. So coming into a new state of equilibrium is first getting through the chaos of things having to, if you're thinking about alchemy, things having to dissolve into goop before it can be reshaped into something new. And this is very important when we think about the different phases of our lives that we go through, when we're holding on so tightly to an image of who we thought we were, when everything around us is indicating that it's time to shift, time to transform, time to move into the next phase of life. And all we need to do is to allow ourselves to dissolve. And in other words, to go through the death process and to be reborn. And it's a psychological state. Okay, so this blend has essential oils that have diverse properties. You know, it's uplifting and grounding, calming and stimulating. So again, it's already giving you this polarity experience, right? Yeah. And it's moving from darkness into light. But as you know, science has already shown that the blackest of the black, the deepest darkness holds all of light. So it's a very deep and profound principle here. And moving from darkness into light is not really just about, I don't want the darkness, I just want light. It's really understanding they're both complementary. Katie, you have something to add?
I was going to say, I turned on to cough. No, I was going to say that it's an interesting oil because it has this, duality within the blend almost. And I think any transformation, you need to recognize both sides of any process or any experience you're going through. I think it's great that it allows you to do that. It's an interesting oil.
Yeah, I love the way too that actually when we talk about, oh, we want to transform and move into the light, well, actually that whole process of moving into the light required the darkness as a very important ingredient, if you will. And so one of the, I guess I just wanted to speak to this. It's not a danger. It's kind of a humorous recognition that with this principle of polarity, and if we're always in the state of, let's say we're praying and we're praying for peace. And this is a bad example, but you know what I mean. The only way we can learn what peace means is to first experience non-peace. And so this principle of polarity then plays around with this idea that in order to appreciate something and to really see something for what it is, there's this other side of it that when we experience it, then we understand that that is the ingredient for getting into peace. So for better or worse. Okay, so the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. So this is closely related to the principle of polarity in the idea of the inherent rhythm. And I mentioned it in the principle of polarity, but the whole idea of the cycle is a rhythmic process. So if we think about the most common cycle we go through every year in places where we have 4 seasons, you have winter, spring, summer, fall. And if we take that to understand it, again, macrocosm, microcosm, phases of our own lives, well, we can look at it in the macro way of we have birth, which is spring. We have growth, which is our adolescence, summer, right? We have fall, which is our decay, aging. And then we have winter, which is our process of dying. But really, we also have a monthly cycle, and many of us will benefit, especially as women, to pay attention to our monthly period and to know that the rhythm is, we can work with it. We have more energy when it's the springtime. We have the peak energy when it's summer. We have waning energy, you know, can correspond it to the moon, waning energy when the moon is coming down into a new moon. And then at new moon, we're meant to truly just be cocooning, resting, receiving creative ideas. And then we're born again in the full moon, in the waxing moon. So nature has its seasons, so do we. And the ultimate lesson here is that nothing lasts forever and things are ever changing, as we talked about earlier. And so don't hold on too tightly to, you know, what is meant to fade for something new to come. So the oil here we chose is peace and calming, because when we're in a state of peace and calm, we're able to sort of move with the rhythmic phases without too much struggle. And one of the ways I like to talk about this letting go or not struggling with regards to the ocean is when there's a big wave coming and that wave picks you up. And the only way really to come out of that wave is to truly surrender and allow the water to just spit you back up. And so this is part of that idea that as life happens to us or phases happen to us, we're not victims of it, and we can tap into it and understand that there are times to rest, and there are times to create, and there are times to truly take action. So peace and calming is great at night, part of a bedtime ritual. Some people don't like it because it keeps them up. So peace and calming gives you a nice, peaceful but alert feeling. For some people, it helps them go to sleep, and others, it's like, oh, I'm peaceful, but I'm really alert. So just beware. For a bath, it's amazing. You put it with Epsom salts. I love it in my diffuser, and I love it in children's rooms, especially when it's time to snuggle with a book, or, you know, just getting them to calm down for the night. Because they need to understand the principle of rhythm too, right? Because they want to keep playing and keep playing. It's like, nope, it's time to rest, time to calm down. So yeah, this balancing of energies. When is it time to play? When is it time to rest? When is it time to create? And when is it time to dream? And so calming our mind and body so we can actually tap into our intuition. Restful sleep, again, caution here for some people, and the emotional balance, because it's hard to tap into our intuition and to create with the rhythmic energies if we're not in peace. Okay, I believe this is yours, Katie.
It is. I just was going to say something about peace and calming. It was really interesting what you said. So peace and calming is an oil that I used during both of my births. And when you were just saying about the surrendering and allowing to happen, I think that was what I was reaching for, and needing in those moments. That giving over to the rhythm, a natural feeling rhythm that is very natural, giving birth,
Yeah.
for me, but allowing the process of that. This oil was one that spoke to me. So in my first birth, I just had it and just used it, and I just felt, the breathing process helped me. And my second birth, I already knew that this would have an impact on me. So yeah, it's really interesting what you were saying about this, allowing cycles and rhythms to happen, and this oil, we definitely can have benefits from that.
I love it. And the whole idea of labor is a rhythm.
Yeah.
We go through the contractions and then it goes away, and each time it gets larger, it's just
And
spiraling,
it's the whole
growing.
wider rhythm of life, giving
Yeah.
life, the circle. It's really interesting. And that was just the oil that I used for both. And I bought recently for my sister-in-law before she gave birth. I was like, just in case you need this.
Yes, and I've seen videos of babies just throwing tantrums and then putting a drop of peace and calming for them to inhale, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
was I just crying?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next principle is of cause and effect. This is one I think probably we understand. We try to teach this to our children, in their lives, that your actions have consequences, reactions. Everything happens according to some type of law. Every cause has its effect. So it says, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. And it's really a principle that helps us to recognize that everything is connected through cause and effect. And for each cause of one thing, it's merely the effect of something else going back to the beginning. So a kind of a circular formation of how things are connected. So thinking about it, it may connect to how, something, when something doesn't go as planned, or if you find yourself unhappy. It's really important to ask yourself and recognize where the cause was. Where has this come from? And many times we find ourselves reacting to the world around us. Some people can feel trapped in a back and forth of reacting to things in our circumstances, rather than trying to find a way where we can forge our own path. And when we take action to get the effect we want, we move from this idea of victimhood, which Leanne mentioned earlier, to this idea of being empowered. So you can see that all of these principles are very related to each other. And I think cause and effect, it's a powerful one for recognizing, I can have impact on what happens to me, and through the choices that I make, I can change outcomes, and I have that power and the ability to harness, this cause and effect principle. So the oil that we selected for this is gratitude, and I think this is a very powerful oil for helping us recognize things that have occurred, things that maybe have happened to us, and gratitude, it has been recognized as one of the most powerful states of mind, when we place ourselves in this state where we are reacting positively to things that have happened, and being grateful for things that have occurred, even being grateful for things that some might perceive as negative, but being grateful for what that has taught us, or what we have been given or shown, or been able to recognize from certain things is a very powerful state of mind, really. So this essential oil, again, lots of them have 9 essential oils, don't they? So it's a blend of 9 essential oils that has a aroma that promotes this idea of gratitude, being thankful, and appreciating things around us. And it can help to foster a positive attitude and attract all that's good in your life. And again, putting your mind in that state of recognizing what's good, recognizing what I've gained from experiences is really powerful. So it's a practice and it's an attitude. And Gratitude Essential Oil Blend has this uplifting aroma that can help you open yourself up to receive more of the gifts in life. And that doesn't mean material gifts, as we mentioned before about this idea of materiality. Sometimes learning experiences are a gift. Sometimes, overcoming adversity is actually a gift in our life, and being grateful for what that's taught us. I also have used gratitude when I've thought about important people in my life or stages that have passed, and being grateful for, having certain experiences. I think is a really powerful state to be in. So life flows better when your heart and mind are open with gratitude. And you can enjoy the blend of granfir, frankincense, coriander, myrrh, ylang ylang, bergamot, northern light, black spruce, velveteer, and geranium. And we can use this uplifting aroma to help invite feelings of emotional and spiritual progress. And actually, the state of gratitude is progress. It's almost looking back with a kind heart and mind in a favourable way for experiences that you've had. It's a great oil to use during meditation to help increase feelings of clarity and elevate feelings of gratitude when you're meditating and reflecting. You can use it topically behind ears, and particularly over the heart is recommended for this one, to put yourself in that state of gratitude and thankfulness. And we connected it with the principle because the stronger, when we practice gratitude, the stronger its effects become. And having yourself in a state of gratitude can really help recognize this principle of cause and effect, things that have happened to us and the impact that they've had, and being thankful for those experiences is very powerful. And you can increase your gratitude frequency. With practices such as gratitude journaling, so writing down things that you're grateful for each day, meditation, which helps you to focus on gratitude during this reflective process, mindful appreciation, so taking time to appreciate small things in life, expressing gratitude with others, so telling people how much you appreciate them, and also just general gratitude rituals that you put in for yourself with daily and weekly processes maybe. It can have this power of recognizing cause and effects in our life, and really by practicing gratitude we can harness the power of cause and effect to create a more positive and fulfilling life. Being in this state of gratitude and thankfulness can provide a lot of fulfillment, really. Okay, and then the final principle we have is the principle of gender. And when we talked about this in our Empowered Women's group, it was very interesting as a group of women. One of the things that came up was that actually the way society is at the moment, the way things are structured in the world, there are, as we know, there are 2 different energies of the masculine and feminine, but we recognize that we're living quite often in a more masculine energy. The way that everything is kind of structured in our environments tends towards the masculine energies. So gender is in everything, and everything has its masculine and feminine principles. And gender manifests in all planes. Okay, so within each person, we have both of these energies of masculine and feminine. And this principle states that all things have these qualities, and that the two sexes can be thought of as a physical manifestation of this principle. But as we're all coming to understand, on an internal level, we hold both of these energies. Okay, it's a similar concept to the left and right brain, these two parts that make a whole. Masculine and feminine energy exists not only in the physical plane, but in the mental and spiritual plane as well. And the unity of these two energies is essential for creation. And when one has the balance of both, they're better able to apply all of the principles together for maximum benefit. So the one thing that I think this principle is asking us is to accept all parts of yourself and to understand that balance is key for self-mastery. Buddha called this the middle way, and it's about the balance of masculine and feminine, of heavenly and earthbound, of mind and body and spirit. And when we have this balance within ourselves, we're all equipped to harness all of the principles and use them in our lives for good. So we talked about this one a lot, actually, and we talked about joy as being one of the essential oils that actually flows through many of the principles, as it has this huge magnetic power. The feeling of joy and also the essential oil of joy has this same, powerful presence, really. And this essential oil blend is a combination of floral and citrus essential oils, including ylang ylang, geranium, jasmine, palmarosa, rose, bergamot, lemon, and tangerine. And it's really powerful in enhancing the frequency of self-love and bringing joy to your heart and into your life. These oils have a really rich history. So it's been taken all through different islands by Christopher Columbus. Rose has been praised through centuries for its fragrance and other qualities since ancient Greek and Roman times. And they're really powerful oils. So joy is it's well known as one of the favorite oils from Young Living. And it can create a balance of elevating the mind and releasing negative emotions. So it can help balance those two genders. And it can also be used for romantic atmospheres as well, with the oils that are in here. So joy is suggested to apply to your wrists and the back of your neck before you go out, for diffusing in your space, to change the aroma and the atmosphere. It's not on here, but one of the things I read about joy essential oil was about putting drops into your shoes overnight and having joy come up through your body in the morning. And that's something that I have done before, and also placing it over your heart. Personally, for me, joy isn't an essential oil that I love in terms of fragrance, but it is one that I try to use because I feel that while I may not love it in terms of fragrance, it is an oil that's very powerful to boost my spirit, and one that I want to use in my everyday practice. So going back to the idea of this gender alignment, Leanne and I talked about this oil a lot because the principle of gender and this balancing of the masculine and feminine energy, we feel is very important in the current world that we're living in. And joy is one of the essential oils that can actually amplify the feminine energy in this masculine world that we're living in. So reconnecting with our feminine energy is incredibly beneficial, and we know that from creating our empowered women's groups and connecting with other women around the world in these sessions. actually how important it is that we reconnect with this feminine energy and bring this into an alignment. Is also associated with intuition, creativity, and emotion and intelligence, which can help us navigate things like stress, cultivate deeper connections, and find joy and balance in our life. The emotional balance and harmony is really amplified by using this essential oil, and it can be uplifting and kind of the emotional balance is the key aspect of feminine energy. We have this great intuition within ourselves as females. I think we have this power of intuition, empathy, and creativity, and really being able to connect with that inner voice and inner knowing is something that I think can really elevate a lot of what's missing maybe in sometimes in these gender alignment feelings. The joy essential oil blend can also cultivate joy and gratitude, so it links to what we've talked about before, and this can help give more optimistic outlooks, and can help align with this nurturing and compassionate nature of feminine energy. It can also be used to enhance creativity, as I mentioned before. So the floral and citrus notes have properties which can help stimulate creativity and imagination. And that can be really helpful in this world that prioritizes logic and analytical thinking. I know this from being an art teacher. You know, there's so much emphasis put on facts and knowledge and this type of learning, but actually the connecting with creativity and this other knowledge that we have can be downplayed very much, and using joy essential oil can help, you know, as experience those important things with creativity. It's also great for self-care and nurturing. It can encourage self-care practices. You can be used when we're taking baths or practicing mindfulness or engaging in creative hobbies, as I just mentioned. And these activities are the things that nourish our soul. You know, if you ask yourself what nourishes us, these kind of experiences are definitely things that nourish you. And connecting with intuition. So calming our mind, promoting relaxation. Joy can help with this intuition and have this powerful tool for decision making and problem solving. And I think really speaking to that inner knowledge again is really important in this quite often masculine world that we live in. So incorporating joy essential oil into our daily routine can help tap into this power of the feminine energy that we have inside of us and help us be more balanced and fulfilled. And this quote was actually the starting point of when we were putting together this idea of the principles. I just think, you know, if we think about joy as a feeling and an experience, we know it, you know, we all know ourselves. It is one of the most magnetic forces in the universe. When we spread joy to others, when we feel joy, when we experience joy, it has this amazing magnetism. And so the essential oil that Young Living has also is this magnetic, powerful force that we have to share.
I just want to mention here that when we talk about the feminine or energy, we're not excluding men. So the word gender, again, can be quite confusing, but we're really saying, yes, there's feminine and masculine energies in the world, and even women can express more masculine than feminine because of the world and the systems that are in place today. And so it would be great if both men and women in today's age really cultivated their feminine qualities. And so it's really fascinating. I had a friend who is a guy, but he actually really loved the sense of joy you know, so not to just believe that joy is just for women.
No. Also, in terms of the masculine and feminine energy, we're also not saying that masculine energy is negative. It's just that we want to balance those two things, and the principle is really about balancing. And we recognize that there is more masculine presence in terms of energy where we are at the stage. It's not negative, but we have to balance them, which is why we want to bring up the feminine in this aspect.
Well, and Katie, just the fact that you brought up art, that's such an important and clear example in today's age when schools are saying art's not important. We're going to focus on the rational, the math, the science. That is an example of the imbalance, right?
Yeah. That's something I experience every day as an art teacher. I'm always even explaining to parents, you know, why creativity is important, how it can be utilized in many aspects of your life. You know, there's a lot of people that don't recognize, you know, that we need both. You know, you need logic and reason, and you need creativity.
Yes. Okay, so we just wanted to say that this is the 7 principles, and as you can see, they're profound, they're deep, they take a long time to fully understand and embody, and yet I would bet you already intuitively know them. And when you read it, you're like, oh yeah, I know that. So it's really the awareness, isn't it? It's awareness that, oh, okay, now I see that principle showing up, and I want to sort of work on this area. So each time you come back to them, you may understand them in a new way, a deeper level, and it is self-mastery, ultimately. That's really the one word you can take away from the 7 Hermetic principles. The self-mastery is about energy. Everything is energy, everything is frequency and vibration, and there's certain laws surrounding how energy is transformed. It's not, energy doesn't die, it's transformed from one state to the next. So mastery of energy in this lifetime with essential oils that have the highest frequency that has been recorded for physical substances. And so, yeah, significant impact on your life, I would say. Right, Katie?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm actually just on the very early journey of understanding these principles. As we said, our friend Anna was the one that introduced, well, I know Leanne knew more about these teachings, but for me, really just at the start of understanding these. But as you said, they're all things that make complete sense. And, you know, these are principles that have been passed down for generations, and there is a knowing about this. But I think it's very interesting to think about how we can pair essential oils to help us have this consciousness, help us recognize, and definitely have an impact. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we don't want to take up any more time. We are at the end of our presentation. Just know that in our other classes, we talk about Young Living and the quality that comes through with their very strong seed to seal policies. And we wouldn't recommend any other brand because we trust that Young Living takes care of the earth as they plant and grow with reverence for the people that grow them, for the communities in which they operate, and for the people that use them. So I find that very much in line with the 7 Hermetic principles of, you know, what you put out is what you bring back, right? What you take back in.
Yeah, cause and effect, all of those things. Yeah. Positive vibration. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to just stop the recording here. Okay. Karen, do you have any questions? We would love to hear from you.
No, it was really good. Thank you. I like the lineup of the oils. I applied them all, well, except for peace and calming, because I would have had to get up to go get that one. All the rest of them I had right here. So
you had right next to you. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I have them all. and I put them all on. So that was a nice session. And it kind of, there's other like the Feelings Kit or the Great Day Protocol, so many of them all use these oils. But I liked your lineup of how you put them all together and the principles and all that. That was really good. And I'm trying to think, I think I've met you, Leanne, at Carol's talks at the convention.
Yes, Carol
Maine.
lives in. Oh, Carolyn Mine. Yes.
Mine, yes, yes.
Yes, I taught with her. I teach alongside her
Yeah.
online, and we do a convention talk every year.
Mhm.
That's why you're so familiar.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I've been to both of those sessions. I mean, I've been to 2 of them in the past
Mhm.
couple of years. So
Yes.
was
Oh, thank
fun.
you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and
good.
we actually train coaches in emotional wisdom with
Mhm.
protocol. So
Yeah.
that's a class that's going on right now too.
Wow. Yeah. So many
Yeah.
classes, it's like
Ultimately, it's sort of like just take the oil and use it. Actually, that's all that matters.
yeah. But I mean, there's continual education, which I'm, loving all of it. So it's good. I also do the harmonic raindrop and
Oh, yes.
just a lot of crossover for everything.
Oh, I wonder if you know, because I am hosting a retreat in Ireland this coming year. And this couple of gals that are interested, they do the harmonic raindrop. So wait, let me find, do you all have like a little community? Wait, you're muted. You're muted.
What month are you doing that in?
That's May 30th to June 6th. So it's 6 nights. But I was just trying to find that the gal that sent her request in. But oh well. Must be a different email address. But anyway, yeah. And
Yeah.
was it with Dr. No, it's not Aroma Sounds, is it?
Yes, it is. Dr. Christy Bonds Garrett, and then now Carrie McFiggy has taken over.
Yeah.
Dr. Christy is turning to the art world of fabrics. She is
Okay.
amazing, like in using sacred geometry and things. She just weaves so much together in her creative mind. And I was at
Wow.
her studio in Paducah, Kentucky for her last class on the 9 heart pains. And it was when she was going to transform her studio over to a textile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I found the name. Her name is Bernadette Williams.
Oh, is she coming? She's my teacher.
Oh, and Elisa McClure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought maybe you knew each other.
Yes, very much. I meet weekly with Elisa also.
Oh, wow. Are you all in the same area or you meet online?
Online.
Mhm.
Online, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you speak
Bernadette
to them
does live
again.
in Washington, but
Uh-huh.
south along the Columbia River, and I'm more north, only about 3.5 hours from here. Not
Okay.
far.
Yeah.
So where's the information on your class there?
Well, so I promised them that I will get them information soon, but
Oh,
we just finalized the accommodations. We are going on a little pilgrimage to honor the goddess Bridget. She is, the patron saint of fire, and we're going to be visiting some of her holy wells. And so we wanted to make sure we got the route and everything before we officially announced it. But we kind of said, save the date, May 30th to June 6th. So if you want, I can put you on the mailing list and email it.
That'd be fun. I've got a few different trips planned this year, but
yes, I know it's gonna be a busy year, isn't it? So that's why we're like, save the date.
and monumental, you know, it's a quarter of a century that we're already into, you know, past 2000. So it's like, wow, 25 years have already gone by from way back when we were worried about Y2K.
Exactly. Yes.
How
and
fast
astrologically, very significant.
So it's a beautiful time. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got to connect today. And
yes, thank you for showing up. And you'll get a recording anyway, and then I'll endeavor to send out the PDF.
All right.
Okay.
Blessings on you both. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Bye, bye, bye.
So lovely.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.